Well, hello. I've got your plan open in my copy of Home Designer Pro 2019, and I'd just like to say you've done a really good job. Good job on the terrain. The thing is, in order to edit this terrain, I don't need all of this graphic information cluttering up the screen. So I'm going to go over here to display options and hit the T key to go down to terrain and turn off primary contours. They're just graphic. Secondary contours, again, they're just graphic. And leave on elevation data and perimeter and features. And if you've used roads or yeah, you've got a road on there. Okay. That simplifies it. Now I can just see the elevation data. And like I say, very good job. I'm sure you got this from a surveyor or a GPS or something like that. And this is the land as it is, ungraded. If you're going to add this driveway, then you can't expect it to just, all meld together. You've got this driving parking area over here connecting into this, but in the terrain, it doesn't connect because of the contours and so forth. So Home Designer Pro is a great program, but it's not an engineering program. It's not designed for finely attuning terrain to a 12% grade. I don't even know if I could do that in Chief Architect Premiere. I probably could if I had to. But I don't think you even need to think about that. But you got this contour line here running right through the road and the parking area. Let me see what value you've got it set to. 960. Okay, that's fine. It's just we can't use this as you've got it here. So I'm going to use this tool right here. I got this. I'm going to disconnect the selected edge. So I can pull this away from the road. It'll be close to it, but not right under it. And same thing here. I'm going to take this end and get it from out underneath the road and take it over here just outside the building. Now what I'm going to do is go up to Terrain Tools. I've been using this software 20 years, so this is not my first rodeo, and I know for you it's probably your first or second rodeo. But just trust me, this is something you have to practice with and work with, and you make a change and then you check the results, and then make a change and then check the results, and do it methodically and a little bit at a time. What I'm going to do is go over here to elevation data and elevation region, left click. I'm going to draw our elevation region right around this section here, because I want it relatively flat right here. I'm going to kind of make it conform to the road. And I'm going to open its dialog box and set it to 960. So it's going to be this value here, but in this area, it's going to be flat. This will tie the road and all that together and should smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, see now this parking area connects into the road. Now this may be a little steeper than you might want it. Yeah, that looks way too steep there. So we got 960 right here, and it's kind of flat, and these spots tie together. And we need to make a little bit more of a gradient here. So the way this software works is you set a value, and it'll then calculate a gradient from this point to this point. I'm going to make this over a little bit more and just include those tie-in areas. And I'm going to see what this value is here. It's 1,200 inches, and this is 960 inches. That's very steep. So you're going to get a steep grade between this and the edge of this. It's just the way it is. If you want to, what you can do, let's see, this is 12 something. Let me close this again. This is 12 something, I believe. Yeah, 1,200. And this is 960. Let's make it 1,000. I mean, no engineer or grading company is going to go by this 3D model. They're experienced in doing the kind of work that they do, and if you want a 12% grade there, they'll put it there. And so in your plans, you put text on there saying 12% grade, and then the guys who run the bulldozers will do that, or their bosses will make sure that they do. But in this software, let's just soften this up a little bit. And the terrain should, see, now we're having to go up a little bit here. It's a little bumpy. So maybe that wasn't a good idea. Let's go back to 960. And I want to make sure that it's actually rebuilding. It should, but sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, okay, it didn't build. See, I know you're too steep here, and you're going to have to grade this out a little bit around the road if you want this section here less steep. So from here to here has to be, I would move this line up the hill, and then to give this more of a gradient. This is kind of a corkscrew here, and it's going to be very steep because the software is going to gradient in a straight line from this value to this value edge. And so that's very steep, and there's no way around it. I'll make that a little bit closer. We'll pinch this in a little bit closer just to the road. But the software is going to run a gradient from here to here. And this is a very short, I don't know if that's 12% grade or not. You'd have to do a cross section and draw an angle on it. Well, I'll show you. And it's going to be a little dicey. I'm going to use a backlit cross section and go right through the road there at kind of a 90-degree angle. And again, it's kind of hard to see, but I can draw a CAD line on this road like that, and open the CAD line, go to number style and show, well, it shows degrees. And that's not 12%, it's 22, it's a 22 degree angle. To get 12, pull that CAD line down. That's getting pretty close to 12. So let's move this CAD line back up here. So, we're close, but you're going to have to lower the upside of it to get it down to 12. That's where the cross-section camera is looking, and you're basically looking from here, this value, down to this value. And because of the way, you might have to redesign the road if you want a 12% grade. I mean, you know the land better than I do, but I think maybe this will get you pointed in the right direction. And my advice to you is just put some text here and with an arrow. I'll just show you. We'll click 12% grade. take the arrow and put it over. And guys who do this for a living will either do it or they'll tell you how they can't do it. But doing it in the software, I probably can be done if you have enough patience. But you got to tweak these values around until you can measure a 12% grade here. That's 12%. That's what we have, which is about 22%. There's 12, and you can see you're going to have to lower the higher value in order to get 12 here. That's all I'm saying. And I've bettered it a little bit, but I mean, there's a bump there, and I could tweak this around maybe and smooth that out a little bit. I'm going to move it up this way and change that angle that way. We'll check. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Not perfect. I thought this is 960. Whoops. Yeah, 960, and this should be set at 960. Yeah, it is. Maybe I need to move that over a little bit. See, I make a change and then check it in a camera. And you can see the problem is you've got 960 right here and you've got 1200 here, and that's what's causing the steep transition angle. And it's because of the way you've designed the road. And how you would get to, you know, that's not my problem, it's your problem. But I've shown you kind of how to solve it in terms of it. You got to change this value or move this back and put some transitional values in there to smooth this curve out and the steepness of this curving road. But from here to here is not very, what is it, 30, it's not quite 30 feet. And that's asking a lot where you've got this running this way and it has to run down to this at a 12% grade. I'm not an engineer or like that. A contractor could probably figure it out, or an engineer certainly, and then could design this road where it would actually work. In the software, I just know how to wrangle the pieces around to get the appearance that I want. I think I've improved on what you had a little bit. It's not perfect. Like where that, oh, okay. Now it's showing up. So I think that's all I can help you with now. And I haven't totally solved your problem, but I think I've pointed out to you the direction you need to go in order to start solving it. And you might want to rethink how but you may want to stretch the road out over here and then come down so that you don't have this steep transition point. And that's what you have right now. And that's just plain geometry. I can't rewrite geometry for you, but that's why you're getting what you're getting. Thanks for watching. I do hope this helps you.